So welcome to day 11 of the intensive English course. Today we have one of the most interesting topics in all of English because this is a topic that changes. It's a function of time. So this topic is a function of time. So are you guessing what I'm about to share today? We invited more people to today's class outside from the course because this is such an important topic, and just knowing this information can change the way you look at English. Let's begin with today's presentation. Congratulations for you who have stayed in the course. This is understanding the 12 verb tenses. Like I said, a verb represents a language. This should be something else. This should be linguistic. You see, I even messed up. A verb represents a linguistic structure that describes when an action happened, happens, or will happen. This is a verb. We're going to look at 12 verbs in the English language and how to understand each one and the structure that they have. Like they each have like a formula, and they each have like a meaning and some tips on how to use each one of them. And if we can in the future, we can go more in depth on this. But as you can see, as you know, there's past, present, and future, right? That's the time. That's like a timeline. Past, present, and future. Therefore, a verb is a function of time. How the formula for the verb is going to be structured in each of these verb tenses is going to depend on the time. And not just of past, present, and future, but it's also a combination of simple, perfect, continuous, and perfect continuous. So you combine each of the three things that are a function of time, so past, present, and future, and you combine it with the 4 different modes in which the action is taking place, and you get these combinations. There are 12 verb tenses in the English language. So this is very good because this makes the English language less complicated than other languages that have a whole bunch of verb tenses. And we're gonna go over each one of them. The first one is past simple. So past simple, this tense is used to describe an action that has already happened. The structure is the subject plus the verb in the past form. In this one, you have to remember that there's regular verbs and irregular verbs. Irregular verbs like eat has a different past and has a different past participle, which in this case is eaten. And past, simple past with the ate, right? But this is an irregular verb. And you mix this formula. And here are some examples. I walked to work today. She arrived late to school. I ate my lunch in the cafe. Next is the past perfect. This tense is used to describe an action that was finished before another past action. This is kind of complicated, right? There's an action that happened, that finished. That when you're using the perfect tense, it shows that in comparison with the simple is just direct, right? It's simple. But when you're talking about the perfect, you're talking about something that was already completed. And in the past perfect, is an action that was finished before another action. The structure is a subject plus had plus the verb in past participle. This is something we have to study. We have to study past participle, and we have to study irregular verbs too. And we need to know what a subject is. The subject is just the person or object which is taking the action, or the action is being taken into it, like I, you, he, them. And then there's had, which is like the past form of have. Some examples are, I had finished my homework to give to my teacher, but she had already left. He visited China. He had visited China, right? Because if I said he visited China, that would be simple past. So he had visited China before, and then something else happened. I ate my lunch at the cafe. Yeah, that one doesn't go there, right? That is past simple. So right here, this one doesn't go there. There. That was just an error. I'm trying to see if you're paying attention. No? Past perfect, past simple. What other past is there? Past continuous. Hola, Carlos. We're in the middle of verb tenses. We're looking at the past continuous. The continuous tense is used to describe an action that's still going. And you use the ing form of a verb plus the was or were plus the subject, but in the other order, right? First the subject, then was or were, and then the verb, and then an ing, which I think this is called gerund or something like that. This tense is used to describe a past action that was ongoing. Something was happening in the past. This action may have been interrupted, or another action also occurred. So something was happening, but then it stopped happening, or another action started to happen. Here, when do you use was and when do you use were? You use was when you're talking about I, she, he, or it, and you use were when you're talking about many subjects, or you also use you, they, we. It's kind of confusing actually, because this is for one subject, I, she, he, and it, but this is just how English is. And where for we, they, and you. We and they is many. Maybe you can use it for us too. So here's an example. Here are some examples actually. I was working all day to finish my homework. We were walking home when my mom called me. He was waiting an hour when the bus finally arrived. Then we have the last of the past tenses, past perfect continuous. Perfect continuous is a combination of perfect and continuous. Right? This tense is used to describe an action that started in the past and continued till another action or time in the past. An action that started in the past and continued till another action or time in the past. Okay, so the last one, the continuous one, it's not very sure if you finished it. It looks like you could have finished it. Like I was working all day to finish my homework, but you're not sure if I finish working on finishing my homework. But the past perfect continues because it's perfect. That indicates that the action was completed. That's what I'm trying to understand here. And the structure is the subject plus had been plus the verb and then an ing. For example, it had been raining all day, so I couldn't walk to work. And this is accurate. It had been raining all day. Is it raining right now? Probably not, because the person already walked to work. So it had been raining all day, but stopped raining, and then he got to work eventually because the action of been raining happened, but it looks like it's completed because it is perfect. Something that's perfect is something that's complete. In this sense, we had been looking for my phone for 1 hour when Jasmine found it under the sofa. Had been looking for my phone for 1 hour when Jasmine found it under the sofa. So if Jasmine found my phone, then the action is completed. We're not looking for my phone anymore, but we were looking for my phone before something else happened in the past also. So that's what it means. Now, present simple. This tense is used to describe an action, habit, or facts that are generally true and occur in the present time. So these are like universal truths. Like, for example, the earth is flat. No, it's not flat, it's round. And we all know that the earth is round. So we use the present simple to state a universal fact, or maybe to say the sky is blue. This is the structure. It's a subject plus the verb in the present form. The verb in the present form is the most simple form, I guess. So for I, you, we, and they, I, you, we, and they walk, we walk, you visit, I work, I go, they take, they drink, etc. It's just like this. But when you're talking about she, he, or it, you're supposed to add an S at the end of the present simple form. I mean, the present form of the verb. So it becomes she walks, he visits, it goes, he drinks. And some examples of these are, I walk to school every morning. Anna visits, Anna is a she, Anna is the she. So Anna visits the town center every day. I mean, every weekend. She works as a teaching assistant in the school. She works. Very simple, right? You work, she works, it doesn't work. There's like a question form, and there's like a affirmation form and negative form for all of these tenses, which we need to look at too. But this is just affirmation mode. Present perfect. This tense is used to describe an action that has taken place. Like I said, perfect means that it already took place. It got completed once or many times before now. The structure is the subject plus have or has plus the verb in the past form. Present perfect. For example, I have walked to school every day. How do you differentiate from the past perfect? Because you use have or has instead of had. That's how you see the difference. I have walked to school every day. They have traveled to China twice. Stacy has worked as a teaching assistant for 3 years now. So this, since this is present, it still sounds like something that has already become true, something that's a fact. Like they have traveled to China twice. That's a fact, right? Someone, two persons or a group of people traveled to China twice. That's something that happened, but it's not happening right now, but it happened and it's already completed. Present continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that is ongoing now. Very simple. Structure, subject plus am, is, are, plus the verb ending in ing. If it's I, it should be used with am. If it's she, he, or it should be used with is. He is, she is, it is. If it's used with we, you, or they, it should be used with are. They are, you are, we are. These are the examples. It is snowing outside. I am studying for my exam. She is eating her lunch. You don't only use the subject, but you also use this possessive particle right here. That means that something you're doing or something that you are, right? This is like, I am doing something, or you are someone, depending on if it's to be something or if it is to do. That's what this that's am, is, and are possessives mean right here. And this is something that's going on right now. I'm gonna give you another example. I am teaching the class about verb tenses right now. It's going right now, but it's still happening. It's still happening. We're still taking the class. Present perfect continuous. This tense is used to describe an experience or an action that started in the past and is still continuing till the present moment. This started in the past. We have the past right here, and it's still happening till the present moment. And I guess it's still not done. Still like continuing to happen. And the structure is subject plus have or has been, plus have or has been, plus the verb and the ing form. And you have to remember right here to use for I, we, you, and they, use have, they have, we have, I have, and for the she, he, and it subjects, we use has. She has, he has, it has. And the examples right here is, I have been studying for 3 hours now. They have been living in the same house since 1999. It has been snowing all morning. It has been, or they have been, or it has been, or you have been, we have been. This is the trick. Have been, has been, happening until still continuing. It hasn't stopped. Have been living. So this will be the exception to being completed, I guess. It's kind of confusing. This is the future simple. This tense is used to describe an action that hasn't happened yet. Structure one is the subject plus I, am, is, are. Going to plus the verb. I am going to the shop. She is going to buy some clothes. Structure two is the subject plus am, is, are, plus the verb ending in ing. We are having dinner at the restaurant tomorrow. I am starting my English course next week. Structure 3, subject plus will or shall plus verb. We will go to the market on Wednesday. You can also say, we shall go to the market on Wednesday. These are the structures. These are 3 ways you can say something in the future is going to happen. It's going to, it will happen. This is future. It will happen. Future simple, future perfect. This tense is used to describe an action that will be completed before a specified time. It will be completed. That's why it's perfect, because it focuses on something that will be completed, completion. That's the trick with perfect. Complete. Structure. Subject plus will have plus verb in past form. Subject plus will have plus verb in past form. Example, I will have finished my homework by tomorrow evening. So this is like saying, no matter what, or like, I will have completed this. I will have done this by tomorrow or in 3 hours. This like, if your boss comes and asks you, when are you gonna finish your work? I will have it completed by this afternoon. So it means that you're like committing to finishing something. She will have worked as a teacher for 3 years by the end of this year. You see, this is something that will finish happening in the future. They will have arrived in China by now. By now, they will have arrived. Okay. By now. So this is something that is happening right now. That's kind of weird. Now they will arrive in China. They will have arrived in China. It's like maybe by now they will have arrived. They will be there by now. Now we're looking at the future continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that will occur and will continue for a set period of time in the future. So the structure is subject plus will be plus verb and then in ing. So since this is continuous, we know that it's gonna continue for a set period of time in the future. And some examples are, I will be going to work tomorrow at 8 a.m. And probably the next day too, right? If it's during the week, I will be going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And some people even go to work on Saturday or Sunday. I know a friend of mine who goes to work every day. Every day goes to work like at 5 in the morning and comes back, I don't know, in the afternoon. Every single day goes to work. So he will be going to work every day. He will be going to work every day of the week. He will be working. This is future continuous. He will be working non-stop. He will be working every day. She will be moving house next month. She will be moving house next month. Next month, she's gonna be moving out of her house. This is gonna be happening and will continue to happen. I will be traveling to Turkey next weekend. Future perfect continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that will continue up until a point in the future. The structure, subject plus will have been plus verb in the ing form. Since it's perfect, it's gonna get completed up until a point in the future. Unlike the continuous that it's still happening, this one we're expecting for it to be completed. So the subject plus will have been completing. Let me see. I will have been cleaning the house for 3 hours when she arrives home. Now, let me tell you something about this one. It's not very common to hear it. It's not very common to hear a native English speaker tell you they will have been very tired for traveling around for 5 hours. They will have been, it's not very common. I don't hear this one. I hardly never hear this. Someone say, I will have been cleaning the house for 3 hours when she arrives home. That person's not gonna say, I will be cleaning my house for the next 3 hours, or I will have my house cleaned for the next 3 hours, something like that. But this is not very common to use in the spoken everyday language. So don't feel forced to learn this one or very complicated ones. By 9 p.m., she will have been completing her homework for 2 hours. I don't even talk like this. My brain doesn't think like this when I'm thinking about events happening in time like this. They will have been very tired from traveling for 5 hours. I just think something like, they will be very tired from traveling 5 hours. That's how I think. They will be tired. I don't think they will have been very tired. That's too long. But it's the proper way. And we're done with the presentation. So what you have to understand from this is that there's no way for you to learn them other than practice them, each one of them at a time, and understand and using in sentences. And the ones that I recommend you learn first are the simple and the perfect and the continuous. The perfect continuous is not very necessary. It is used, but you don't find it too much in the language. So the homework for today is to write a sentence in each one and send it to me. If the perfect continuous is too complicated, you can send me the nine first verb tenses, which are past simple, past perfect, past continuous, present simple, present perfect, present continuous, future simple, future perfect, and future continuous. You can just send me those. And that's it for today's lesson. We will be talking more about this, and we will be looking at more examples as we study new lessons. Is there any questions? Are there any questions?
No, Manny, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. And then I really apologize because I haven't uploaded a lesson for phrasal verbs and idioms, but it's scheduled for this week. So I will make sure to talk about that before we end the week. And tomorrow we have tutoring at the same time. And then on Saturday, I'm not sure if we should do an evaluation about the topics, but I think that would be a good idea. I will be working on the test to send it to you. And then on Sunday, as always, just make sure to relax and do activities that involve passively being involved with the language. And that would be it for today. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.